NBA totals for Thursday. We are live coming to you from the morning of my Friday morning here in Japan. But this is our NBA live segment of NBA totals, where we take a look at totals set by oddsmakers. We try to beat that line either over or under the total. And we got two games on the card today. We also have our NCAA total segment out there. And I'm going to go over my record here real quick so we can cover all that. I am back in Japan after a brief stint in the United States. And we're going to talk about some totals today. So don't forget sbrpicks.com, Sportsbook review, YouTube channel, Facebook page. You got to check all that stuff out. And share the video. I don't think I've mentioned that enough, but share the video. Then we can get some more guys involved, and we can talk more about about the games. So the feedback, you guys have been phenomenal, even when you disagree with me. Excuse me. Sorry, got a little touch of a cold. The feedback's been phenomenal. Even when we disagree, it's been great. So, I just encourage you guys to share the video, and we'll talk a lot about, all the basketball games. So let's talk about the record real quick. Now, don't forget, everything's free, okay? So if you want to complain, that's fine, but just remember, everything's free. I think somebody complained about what I was wearing on one of these videos or something. I'm a dad. I have two kids, and I have a beautiful Japanese wife. The race is over for me. I don't need to look good anymore, okay? Let's get that straight. All right, so right now for the NBA, we are 156 and 140, which is not great. That is about 53%. So if you were playing $100 per game, you'd have a profit right now. At minus 110 juice, you'd have a profit of $200, which is definitely not great and not where we want to be. But, we're not even at the All-Star break. So hopefully we'll improve that percentage. NCAA hoops, so completely different story. 132 and 109. We're hitting almost 55% on our NCAA totals. So you definitely want to check out that segment. NBA has been tough. It's been a really tough year. There's been a lot of high totals, but still we're not in the negative. So I think I got some feedback before. I can't remember the exact quote, but the point is this: we're 156 and 140. We're not 140 and 156, so we can't really complain. It's not great. I understand that. I want to have a higher profit margin, but with my NCAA and my NBA combined, I'm happy. Plus, it's all free. So anyway, there's my record right now: 156, 140 in NBA. In NCAA, we're 132 and 109. So we're cruising right along. You guys, again, feedback's been great. Share the video. Let's get some, get some more people involved in this, and let's make a profit, because that's what it's all about. And one quick mention though. So I'm 156 and 140, but that's at minus 110 at that 140. So so it's a very, very small profit. But if you checked SBR, if you checked Sportsbook Review and you found better odds, better lines, because you might get something maybe at minus 105, then your profit margin would increase. So that's why, our website's really important that you want to check that out. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and dive into some totals here. And in 1 second, one more thing I got to mention is the schedule for the NBA Live segment. It looks like we're going to be going Sunday to Thursday on NBA Live. Tomorrow I'll have a video out for NBA and also NCAA, of course. So it looks like what we'll do in the live segment Sunday through Thursday. Of course, next week's going to get mucked up a little bit because of the All-Star game. So anyways, so tune in, check it out. This is the last one we're going to do until then. We'll be back for the Sunday games. And let's talk about some totals. I'll get back to some comments as soon as we finish. All right, I got just two games today. There's not a big slate. There's only 5 games on, and they're the later games. So the first we're going to look at here is Utah and Dallas. Oddsmakers have it at 193.5, and this was surprising to me. And I'm going to tell you why. Well, it was 192.5, and it went up. That makes some sense because the last 2 games they played, we had a 103 to 100 back in December. And then in November one, they had a really low total. And then they had a 112 to 107. That was overtime, but their final, that was 198. So we had essentially a 203 and a 198. Oddsmakers had those totals at 188.5 and 185.5. Now, the last one was 188, and they've gone over the last 2 games. So it was 188.5. They went 10 points over, but oddsmakers come out with 192.5. They did not get crazy. Utah's coming off the second leg of a back-to-back, and they shot lights out yesterday at New Orleans. I don't think they're going to do that again. But what I like about this game, and I'm going to back the under. I don't know if I mentioned that. So it's 193.5, and I'm going under. And mainly because when we look at that last matchup, overtime, the tempo, first of all, they shot particularly well. Decent. But the tempo, the Jazz got up 83 attempts, Dallas got up 87 attempts, and that's overtime. That is a slow pace. For them to get over 193.5, they're going to have to shoot at a really, really high rate. I don't think they're going to do that, and I also like Dallas to win this game. Actually, the Mavericks have kind of turned their season around. So I like under this total, that 193.5. We could talk about them more statistically, but you're talking about a Utah team right now. Maybe San Antonio is better than them defensively, but this Utah's no joke. I mean, right now they're allowing 95.4 points per game. They're ranked first in the NBA in defensive scoring, opponent 2-point shooting percentage, opponent efficiency, opponent effective field goal percentage. That's a good Utah defense. Now, they could shoot at a pretty efficient rate, but they are on the road and they are on the second leg of their back-to-back. So I don't think they're going to be able to score not nearly as well. I mean, Alvin Gentry compared to Rick Carlisle on the defensive end, that's really not a question. Rick Carlisle is a much better defensive coach. So I like Dallas, even though their defensive percentages are not that great. I think they're going to hold Utah to a reasonable number to go ahead and stay. Pardon me again. I got a cold. I think they're going to be able to stay under this number, that 193.5. So it looks low, but there's a reason why. And also, this kind of a numbers play for me, where odds makers have it at 193.5, but they've gone over the last two times. Something seems a little bit off. Tempo's not going to be fast. I don't think they're going to shoot at that high of a rate, so I'm going to go ahead and back under this total. That's it for Utah Dallas. Next one up, Boston losing last night to Sacramento without Boogie. Wow. NBA's bananas this year. Okay, so we got Boston. They've gone under quite a bit. Well, they've been mostly, gosh, they had a big streak of overs there. All right, let's look at this Boston Portland game. Right now, I'm going the other way on this one. It's at 220. I don't see a lot of line movement on this, and I'm going to go back over this total. And mostly because Boston, when we look at them on the second leg of a back-to-back, they can really score some points. I'll talk about games here in just a second. Dallas games over. I like under the total, like I just mentioned, that Utah-Dallas. Okay, but we look at, first of all, Portland can really score, and they're not a great defensive team. They can really get up and down. And Boston, let's look at them on the second leg of their back-to-back. They could still score. So last few times, against Milwaukee, they had a 220 final. Prior to that, against Washington, they ended up at 225. Prior to that, against Miami, they went for over 230. So off their back, the second leg of their back-to-back, they've been fine. I mean, they could really put up some points in a hurry. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to back over that total with Boston and Portland. That's going to be a track meet, I think. So it looks like a high total. You know, Boston's on their West Coast trip right now. Last time they matched up, they went overtime with a 127-123 final. This was just not too long ago. I think it was last month, or it may have been December. I've checked the date, but the last time they matched up, it was this season. It was in Boston with Portland pulling off the upset, 127-123. So that's 240, but it went overtime. So it was 240, but they actually ended up at 226 as their final there. So, you know, that's a pretty high total. And when we look at that, the tempo was pretty solid. They were pretty efficient. They both could shoot the three, but the shooting percentage in that matchup wasn't crazy. I mean, they shot 46, 45% from the floor. They did shoot about 40% from distance. That's a pretty good rate, pretty good clip. But I think that's going to be what's going to happen tonight. I think Boston's going to push some tempo. Portland loves to get up and down, so I'm going to go back over that total. I can get some more into their statistics. Boston can play some pretty good defense at times. I can't believe they lost to Sacramento. Gosh, that's a bad loss. But I like for them to get over. Okay, so let's go ahead. Yeah, that's okay. So he said, I commented before you started talking about the Dallas game. Yeah, no worries. All right, so that's it for the total. So we'll recap that. We'll talk about some spreads, and then we're going to go ahead, and we are going to move on with our day. And real quick, so we got Utah, Dallas under the 193.5, Boston, Portland over the 220. Those are my two totals picked today in the NBA. Also, we have our NCAA segment out there as well. You got to check that out. That's been awesome. Okay, so somebody comment. Let's get some comments here. Houston over 224.5 versus Charlotte. I looked at that one for a while. I like Charlotte there. I have a write-up on that. I like Charlotte. I like Charlotte to win that game. They're getting. Let's talk about the spread. The total, I have no play on that. Okay. I like Charlotte to win that game straight up. I take them on the money line. But if you want to take them on the spread, that's up to you. And yeah, we could talk about NCAA basketball as well. We got great NCAA games today. But I don't want to spend more than 5 minutes, and then I got to move on with my day, and you guys got to move on with yours. All right, so right now for my spread picks, we got Philadelphia and Orlando. Right now it went from -5 to -6.5 Orlando. I got no play on that. Philadelphia, second leg of a back-to-back after playing San Antonio, no play. Houston and Charlotte, I like Charlotte. Charlotte just came off a really bad losing streak, but they had a brutal stretch of games. I mean, they played Golden State twice. They played Washington, who's been one of the hottest teams in basketball. They had a really tough slate of games, and they were pretty competitive. So I'm going to go ahead and back Charlotte plus the points. I do not like Houston defensively. I love what they do on the offensive end, and I love them at home. But when they're on the road, I'm going to go and back Charlotte tonight. Steve Clifford's a good coach. That's a good Charlotte team. I think they pulled the upset. So I'm going to take Charlotte. And then I also like that Oklahoma City game, who knows, because everybody's out for Cleveland. That now it's at -12. That's bananas. Wow. But everyone's out, so that's a hard one to predict. Utah, Dallas, I like Dallas. Although that line has gone up. Utah was -2.5. Now they're -3.5. I still like Dallas because Utah shot out of their minds, and I don't think they're going to be able to repeat that. So I like Dallas and the under on this game. Right now, +3.5. I'll take Dallas. I think they can take this to the wire. Boston, Portland, it's at 2. That's a coin flip. Boston's been good on the second leg of their back-to-backs, but Portland is traditionally really good at home. So that's a no play for me, but I do like the over. Okay. Let's see. Do I have a spreadsheet? I don't know what you mean by that, John. Let's go back and let's get some. Let's see. Let's talk about the college games real quick. I do have my total segment, so you got to check that one out. I'll tell you right now, I like for North Carolina and Duke to go over. Now, last year I took them on the under because they could play some defense. This year's been bananas. I like them to get over. I think they're both going to shoot at a high rate. Oregon, UCLA, man, that's going to be a great game. UCLA, a little revenge on their mind, maybe. UCLA is tough at home. So that's a tough one for me. I have no spread play on that. And Duke, UNC, I have no spread play, but I do like the over on that. Okay, let's talk about some more comments. What else you guys got for me? If that's it, we're going to move on with our day. Again, check out the NCAA segment. We'll recap it one last time, and I'll talk about my spreads that I like today as well. So for our totals, we have Utah, Dallas under the 193.5, Boston, Portland over the 220, Philadelphia and Orlando. I have no play on that. Albert, who just chimed in, and the spreads I like Charlotte plus the points and Dallas plus the points. Although I think Charlotte can win that game. Okay, I'll talk about that. Return on investment right now in the NBA, +2 units. If you're betting $100 per play, I'm 156 and 140. So that's $15,600 profit, but at -110 juice, you'd be at 15,400. So +200. It's better than losing, I guess. Not great, but NCAA we're 132 and 109. That's about 55%. That's solid. So you put those together, return on investment, we're doing all right. We're doing okay. But again, that's why you got to check out Sportsbook Review, because if you can get at a different book that's got better odds. I mean, you look at something like Pinnacle, they have pretty good odds. I mean, -105. That's at -110 is what I'm talking about. But if you can get something like -105 or even sometimes it's plus money. It just depends. One last comment. And yeah, cool. I appreciate you too. Let's see. Boston to win. I don't know. Second leg of a back-to-back. Portland's tough at home. That's a coin flip for me. All right, that's it. So return on investment. Yeah, we got a small profit, and again, which is great considering this is all free. You can't really complain about that. You guys have been awesome. I appreciate your feedback. Share the video. Let's get some more people involved in this, and let's all make a profit. 'Cause that's really what it's all about. I don't understand. Sometimes, I still don't understand why guys want to give negative comments. I don't understand that. I mean, we're profiting. It's not a lot, but it's free. So, I don't understand that. So let's all be happy that we're still profitable, and hopefully let's try to remain profitable. And with you guys giving feedback, we can talk about that and exchange information, because, there's some good handicappers out there as well. That are not doing a video like me. I know that. I know there's some good guys out there. So let's all get involved and let's make a profit. Follow my plays, and and if you disagree with me, I say go with your own plays. I think that's important that you got to stick to your guns, because I'm not look at my record. I'm not the greatest handicapper in the world, but I'm definitely not the worst either. And it's free. Sportsbook Review. All right. Hey, I'm going to sign off, you guys. So, yeah, I appreciate you too. So, you guys have been awesome. Share the video. Share the video. Let's get some great feedback. And you guys all take care. I'm going to move on with my day here in Japan. You guys in Europe, States, wherever you're at, have a great day. Best of luck on your plays. And we'll have a video for Friday's game and for Saturday's games. So check those out. We'll be back live for Sunday's matchups. And I wish you luck on your picks today.